Hey, Bills Mafia! The Buffalo Bills are always looking to improve and take that next step toward bringing the Lombardi Trophy home to Western New York. And let's be real, we are so close. But there's one potential move that could send shockwaves through the NFL and put the Bills right back in the Super Bowl conversation. Could Buffalo actually land Miles Garrett? The latest bombshell news suggests it might be more possible than ever. Before we dive into all the details, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you love the Bills. We're bringing you the latest news, rumors, and analysis to keep you ahead of the game. Now, let's get into it. All right, Bills fans, we all know our biggest weakness in recent years, getting after the quarterback in big games. We saw it against Kansas City time and time again. Patrick Mahomes has had way too much time in the pocket, and it has cost us dearly in the playoffs. But what if I told you that we could change all of that with just one move? Enter Miles Garrett. Garrett, one of the most dominant pass rushers in the NFL, has reportedly slammed the door shut on any possibility of an extension with the Cleveland Browns. That's coming straight from insider Mary Kay Cabot, who says that Garrett and his camp are done with negotiations. This is a guy who has been the face of that Browns defense for years, and now he wants out. Browns GM Andrew Berry keeps saying that they won't trade him, but if Garrett refuses to negotiate, their hands might be tied. And guess who just so happens to be looking for an elite pass rusher? Your Buffalo Bills. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. GM Brandon Beane has already said that he's open to trading our first-round pick if it means making the team better. Well, Miles Garrett would make this team a whole lot better. Imagine pairing him with Greg Rousseau and Ed Oliver up front. That's a nightmare for any quarterback. The question is, how much would Buffalo be willing to give up to land Garrett? The Browns will likely ask for at least a first-round pick, maybe more. But if Beane is serious about bringing in a game-changing defender, this might be his best shot. But that's not the only major story coming out of Buffalo. While all eyes are on the defense, let's not forget about the guys up front who protect Josh Allen and open holes for James Cook. The Bills' offensive line was one of the best in the NFL last season. They allowed the fewest sacks in the league and helped Cook put together another 1,000-yard rushing season. And guess what? Every single starter from last year is under contract for 2025. Connor McGovern and David Edwards are locked in until 2025. Osiris Torrance is still on his rookie deal through 2026. Deion Dawkins is locked in until 2027, and Spencer Brown is under contract until 2028. That's what we call stability. The Bills have also taken care of their depth pieces early in the offseason. Alec Anderson, who played over 290 snaps last season, re-signed on a one-year deal. Backup tackle Ryan Van Demark was also locked up in January. And let's not forget about last year's draft pick, Cedric Van Pran-Granger, who many analysts call the steal. With 10 offensive linemen already under contract, this unit is looking solid. So, while some teams will be scrambling in free agency, to build their lines, the Bills can focus on adding playmakers instead. So what does this all mean for Buffalo's offseason strategy? Well, for one, it allows Beane to be aggressive when it comes to making a blockbuster trade. If the Bills don't have to spend big money or a premium pick on an offensive lineman, they can afford to go all in on a guy like Miles Garrett. Now, if the Garrett trade doesn't happen, Buffalo could still use that first-round pick to add another impact player, maybe even another wide receiver. But one thing is for sure, this team is in a win-now mode. And Beane isn't afraid to take big swings. For the last 3 years, the NFL Players Association, NFLPA, has released a report card grading all 32 NFL teams based on feedback from the players themselves. This isn't about what fans think, what the media thinks, or even what team executives say. It's a straight-up no-filter review from the guys in the locker room. The categories include everything from training room and treatment of families to head coach and ownership. But one area where the Bills took a major hit, team travel. And we're not just talking about a bad grade. We're talking about rock bottom, dead last. And if minus, ouch. So what's the issue? Weather delays, long flights? Not quite. According to the NFLPA report card, only 35% of Bills players feel they have a comfortable amount of personal space on team flights, ranking Buffalo 32nd out of 32 teams in this category. Additionally, the survey states that Bills players believe their team travel schedule is inefficient, again, ranking 32nd out of 32 teams. The most damning statement, the report card claims, players feel that travel continues to be the worst part of their experience. For a team that prides itself on professionalism and taking care of its players, that's a serious red flag. Now, you already know that when this kind of news comes out, Bills GM Brandon Beane isn't just going to sit back and let it slide. Beane pushed back on the validity of the survey, questioning the sample size and the fairness of the grading process. Here's what he had to say. My question is, how many people actually completed this survey? This is the problem when you do anonymous. Surveys? Are we talking about 6 people, 12 people? You're talking about we have 70-something players when you count our practice squad and beyond. So it's really hard to ascertain who gave the F- for their plane travel. Beane went on to express that while the team welcomes feedback, they don't hear these complaints internally. Ultimately, we love feedback, but we're not getting that in the building. So that would be the most constructive way for us, to have that dialogue and explain that this is the biggest plane we can get and it's only going to fit so many people up front. So how do other teams stack up? The report shows that franchises like the Baltimore Ravens and Denver Broncos received A grades for player travel. If they can do it, why can't Buffalo? Well, let's think about it. The Bills are a team that faces constant travel challenges. We all know how brutal the Buffalo winters can be, and weather delays are nothing new. But if weather alone was the issue, why is the travel schedule also being called inefficient? That's something that falls directly on the team's operations. Now you might be thinking, why does any of this even matter? It's just travel, right? Wrong. The NFLPA report card serves as a free agent guide, helping players decide where they want to play. In today's league, team culture and off-the-field experiences matter just as much as the money. If the Bills want to continue to be a premier destination for top-tier talent, they can't just ignore this. Beane and the Bills front office need to address this head-on and make improvements, whether that means upgrading planes, adjusting travel schedules, or improving accommodations. Something's got to give. So, Bills Mafia, what do you think? Should the Bills go all in on Miles Garrett and make a trade happen? Or should they hold on to their draft capital and build through the draft? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on the latest Bills news and rumors. This offseason is just getting started and things are about to get really interesting in Buffalo. Stay tuned, and as always, go Bills!